Okay, let's come back over here. Let's come back over here to code. Yes. I'm not going to go through the whole steps here. I'm just going to go through the very basic beginning. So you come over here to code. You come over to data. Grab the Fitbit data. Okay. Now, first of all, uh, you're better off learning R and R Studio and Tidyverse on your desktop than you are with using Kaggle. First of all, Kaggle uses what's called Jupyter Notebooks, which was originally designed for Python. Well, first of all, what is the plus side of Kaggle? Well, the code, the software behind the code is always up to date. You have the latest libraries, you have the latest version of R, the latest version of Tidyverse, and so forth. You can access your code from anywhere in the world. Okay? You can access your data from anywhere in the world. Now, what's the downside? Well, the biggest downside, like I said, is it's a Jupyter notebook and not an R Markdown file. Okay? You cannot upload your R Markdown file or your R code directly to Kaggle. Okay? You would have to cut and paste in each piece of code. All right? Now, anyway, so we got our Fitbit data. Let's just start a new notebook. All right. And here you can see because we went from the data set page, use a new notebook from it automatically puts the code in the link to the data in the screen here. Now the first thing you have to do is load tidyverse or load your. I'm also going to load one called uh, makes it easier to format the X and Y labels. And I'm going to load so let's see if these run. So those run. So now we come back over to data and you click on the file you want to import. You click on that. Then it opens up the file window down here, and here's the code you want to read in. Okay? And you have to do one of these three statements for each of the data. So we're going to say quotes, and now this. For this, we'll come down here, we're going to do a string. And we're going to look at the data. I'm going to run this. Now we're going to run this. Now what I want you to notice is the activity date is not formatted as a date. It's a character string. And generally speaking, R doesn't like slashes, but we'll go with we're gonna go with the basic R function. See if we can fix the date that way. Okay. So let's come back up here. Mm. We're gonna call this year, month, date. We're gonna create a new column, a new field as date. And this is sort of the first thing you start with. Okay. You start with this. You start. This is the simplest way to do it, but then you want to check and make sure you actually still got some data here, okay? Let's do this now. Now I can see we got a date field with a couple 1H, but that's okay. But the trouble is, oh, this may not be right. Let's do a summary here now, because the date field doesn't look right. Hmm. Okay, so this doesn't look right because, okay, so that doesn't look right after all because we want to get in 2-digit years. Okay, this means we have to go to plan B. Let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, now we got it in a date format. That was easy, wasn't it? Okay, because it has to be in a date format. Okay, let's continue on down here. Let's start with a simple count. Daily activity. Let's do a count by. Now we got a count of activities by day. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create a quick plot of this. And we're passing the, remember, the function goes from left to right. So we're taking the output. You can think of this basically be like a view or something. We're taking it, so we're passing the activity data to the left, and we're doing a count by the date and sorting it. Okay. So let's start equals. When you're doing a count, the count is always in. So let's just see what happens here. So now we got a plot by the number of activities per day. Okay. So what else can we plot here? Activity date. Well, any one of these numbers here can be plotted very easily. Okay, you can plot steps by day. Okay, you can plot calories by day. So let's come down here, take this code again. By day. So let's just do a quick plot starting from the top here. Total steps. Let's just do a plot. Since we know that there's more than one activity per day, we're going to say daily activity, pass it through here. Summarize. Let's just call this steps. This should be something like total steps. Let's just see what happens here. So it gave us the steps by day. Good. So now let's just do a plot of steps by day. Okay, so now we have a plot of steps by day. Now we could also come down here like this. Total steps by day. So let's just do a quick plot over here. Now you can go see why we're using what the okay, per day. What about the average number of steps per day? Now, what I want you to understand here is total steps, total distance, tracker distance, logged activity distance, very active distance, moderately active distance, and so forth. All of these are are plottable. Let's take a look at total distance. Okay. What I really want you to see here is that how reusable the okay. That the code is very reusable here. Okay. Okay. But what I want you to really see here is how reusable this code actually is. Okay. Let's do more code here. Total distance. I presume this is distance in miles. Okay. Interesting. It's okay. Now we're going to take this code here. Now the trouble with doing the Fitbit data routine is that there was so much data to work with. If you really did a full blown analysis on it, my goodness, you probably I don't know how you would narrow it down to actually to meaningful data. Total. Okay, and here's the average distance per day in miles. I presume in miles. It's really odd. It's all of a sudden beginning in May of 29, well, May in the 9th. All of a sudden your numbers just fell off the edge of the roof. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, the takeaway is how you actually import data. Okay, we selected the Fitbit data set from the data set directory back over here. We clicked on new notebook, which opened up and automatically put the first part of the data in here. Then we clicked on this here. This gave us individual files. We clicked on the first file. This gives us the path for the data file. Then we load our libraries, read in our data, fixed the date field, looked at the structure. We saw that the date field was originally a character. Okay, so we fixed that function. Okay, then we did a count of the number of activities per day, and we plotted that number. Okay, here that plot is there. Then we came down here and we calculated the number of steps, the total and mean steps by day, and plotted that. Now we come down here, did total steps. Okay, total steps. Total steps, this is the average steps per day. Then we calculated the total distance. We plotted the total distance for the activities per day and the average distance for the activities per day. And we noted that they kind of fell off the edge of the rock there. Okay, so this very briefly is how to use Kaggle. But I'm going to say again, you're much better off learning R and R Studio. Okay, because of no other. First of all, because you're going to be able to use because of R Markdown and the ability to create PDF files, to create HTML files, to create Word documents, and to create slideshows of various type. Okay. Plus, it's always on your desktop. Okay. So I really want to encourage you to install, if you're on Windows, to install RTools 4.0, and RStudio on your local computer. Run package update to get the latest version of your package. Install Tidyverse, and then you're up and running. Okay. Although you may also need to install DevTools, but that's a matter for a different video. So anyway, I do hope this. Hope you helped you get a better handle on Kaggle. Okay. Thanks so much for your time. Be back with you in a few moments.